What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the vault. My name is Money, and today we are going to be talking about what I want to see from Emerald City Comic Con 2021. Now, this is the second prediction video that I'm posting here to the channel about Emerald City Comic Con 2021, but this is not a joke. This is actually my serious predictions and what I want to see from the Comic Con. The other one was like a 30-second clip. It was just a joke. I thought it would be funny to post, but now we're going to get into my actual serious wants from Emerald City Comic Con this year. Now, the convention is canceled, but I assume Funko intended on it happening, so they have a bunch of exclusives to release, and the rumors are saying that these are going to start being revealed on the 19th of February, which is about next week at the time of posting this video. Now, while Emerald City Comic Con usually has the smallest collection of exclusives, they do have one thing in common for the most part, and that is that they are all green. And although I don't care for the color green, I thought it would be a lot of fun to make my prediction want list revolve around the color green. So a majority of the things that I want to see from Emerald City Comic Con this year all have that green motif because it's kind of fun. You know, I could predict just a bunch of random shit, but I thought it would be a lot more interesting for me to actually try and rack my brain and think of, okay, if Emerald City Comic Con's motif is green, what could I think of that would make sense in that context? So first and foremost, I would love to see some new Pokemon. I know that we're going to end up getting 2 flocked Pokemon, and I'll predict which ones in just a second. I would love to see Funko do 2 more grass starters. We already have Bulbasaur, and I think it would be so awesome to see Chikorita and Trico become pops, and those are the next 2 grass starters in Generation 2 and 3 respectively. But obviously we're going to get 2 more flocked Pokemon, and they're going to be super easy to get, so I'm really not worried about it. I'm predicting that we're going to get flocked Rattata and flocked, I'm going to say it, Mr. Mime. Now, they skipped over Rattata, Mr. Mime, and Cubone when they made the flocked Growlithe and Grumpy Pikachu, so I think they're going to go backwards and hit the ones that they missed, even though flocked Mr. Mime is going to keep me up at night because I think that's terrifying. Next up, I want to see the Minecraft zombie as a pop. It's one of the most common mobs in Minecraft, and it was so popular that they made it a Smash Bros. Skin for the Minecraft character. So it's kind of baffling that we haven't seen the Minecraft zombie yet, but also I think it makes sense for Emerald City to give it to us finally. And the last thing I want to see from video games from Emerald City Comic Con is the Prickly Patroller from Fortnite. This is a skin that I personally play as all the time. I would love to see them do the prickly pose. It's something like this. It's the emote that came bundled with the skin. I love the cactus skin. I think it is so funny, and it's always in my random rotation of favorite skins. And they like to do a Fortnite pop with every major convention, so I think it makes sense for them to do this one for Emerald City. Next up, we move to music, and I only have one prediction, and it's kind of funny, but also I'm kind of secretly hoping that it exists. I would love to see Green Day as Funko Pops, and it makes sense for Emerald City, obviously, because Green Day... Not as funny as I'm saying it out loud, actually. And although they are far less relevant as they were in the late 90s and early 2000s, that impact that they've had has been just exponential, and they are really popular icons in terms of, like, you could look at Billie Joe Armstrong and say, oh, that's Billie Joe Armstrong. So now we'll move on to our Marvel predictions, and we're going to start with one that kind of breaks the formula of this video. I'm going to predict that we're going to be getting Stan Lee in his Civil War cameo, and although this doesn't fit the green motif that I keep talking about, this is a pop that was kind of hinted at for San Diego Comic-Con last year. I think a majority of us would have bet money that it would have come from New York Comic-Con last year, and here we are in February of 2021 and we still don't have it. And speaking of the MCU, I cannot think of any better time for them to finally give us a pop for the upcoming Marvel Studios Disney Plus show Loki. Now, we have Falcon and the Winter Soldier pops, we have WandaVision pops with rumors of more on the way, so I would love to see them give us just a standalone Loki with that abstract Loki font on the top, the logo. Now, there are a lot of Loki pops out there, but a majority of the older ones don't look that great, and then a majority of the newer ones go for a lot of money, so I would love to see them give us a brand new Loki in that box, and I don't need to see the whole cast, just give us one standalone Loki pop. And continuing with the MCU, they've been doing little endgame pops here and there. Another endgame pop that I want to see is Hulk snapping his fingers, but this time have all of the energy of the stones coming down him and feeding it into his arm and into his head. I would love to see more action in a snapping Hulk mold, and I know that we already got one that was 6-inch and then of course a bunch of chrome variants, but I would love to see more personality in the mold. I am also predicting that we are going to be getting Deadpool as a leprechaun as a part of that new Deadpool set. You know, we got Dino Pool and Deadpool as the waiter and stuff like that. I think Deadpool as a leprechaun would be hysterical and of course fitting for the time of the year. Animation, I picked a bunch of great stuff. I'm very excited to talk about the things that I picked for this specific section. So we're going to go ahead and get started off with Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends, a line that Funko just announced at Toy Fair. I want to see Coco. I can't believe that they didn't give us Wilt and Frankie and Cheese and the rest of the cast, and it was just such a small wave. I'm very excited for those pops nonetheless, but I want to see more of the characters moving forward. Considering how popular Foster's was when it was announced, everybody was going crazy over it. So I think Emerald City is a great opportunity to give us Coco. For Yu-Gi-Oh!, you guys already know I've been asking for Winged Dragon of Ra forever, so I'm going to ask for it again. But I know that it's probably more likely for us to get a green character like maybe Ojama Green, maybe Elemental Hero Avian. But I think what I would actually really like is Pot of Greed. I think that them doing spells and traps is something they might be a little scared of doing because of how obscure it is and how it is in a mainline like representation of the franchise. It's also used in the anime all the time. So I think Pot of Greed is not only a great choice, but I think it's a safe bet for being very popular. And considering that Funko really dropped the ball when it came to Toy Fair this year. I mean, the Avatar The Last Airbender pop pins was the last thing anybody wanted. Super disappointing. But I would love to see a brand new Toph pop, maybe where she has a boulder over her head, maybe where she's wearing her hat that she's wearing when we first meet her. I would also love to see a ghost of Mr. Hyde from Scooby-Doo. I want more Scooby-Doo villains so badly, and this one again just makes complete sense. We've been getting a lot of artist series Scooby-Doos, which I'm still getting because I want to complete the Scooby-Doo set. It is an iconic character from that original Scooby-Doo animation, so strong on my memory, just like the Creeper, so I think it would be an excellent choice. And then Star Wars spoilers, guys. I'm going to talk about Star Wars real quick. If you have not finished Mandalorian, skip forward to the time mark on your screen so I do not spoil the last 2 episodes of Mando for you. We're going to go ahead and talk about it in 3, 2, 1. I want to see the child being held by Luke Skywalker. Maybe even just give us a Luke Skywalker with his lightsaber out. Of course, I want him to hold the child because, you know, the child's green, the lightsaber's green. It would be an awesome pop. And Star Wars collectors would just go crazy over because that finale was just so crazy. I mean, I'm not even a fan of Star Wars, but I was invested in Mandalorian every week with Danny, and that finale was just too fucking good. And in the episode prior to that, Mando takes the child to the meditation rock where he, of course, contacts Luke. So I would love to see a pop deluxe of the child sitting on that meditation rock. I'm sorry if it has a different name to it. Make sure you guys let me know down below in the comments what that rock is actually called. But I would love to see it with like the force field coming up that glows in the dark and the child meditating in the middle. Just such an awesome moment from the show. And I think the pop would look it would be one of the best pops from the Mandalorian set. All right, Star Wars spoilers are over, guys. If you skipped ahead, you lucked out, you missed the spoilers. Now we're going to go ahead and talk about Disney. And I want to see some heat this year from Disney. Disney has been lacking with every single Comic-Con. Every single major release has been kind of lackluster. First and foremost, I want a life-size Pascal from Tangled. I want either a 6-inch one or a 10-inch one. I want a big boy of that Pascal. The only way to get a Pascal pop is through getting the common Rapunzel, whose price has been going up little by little. Then you have the San Diego Comic-Con one from 2015, I want to say, where you have the red one. Pascal's red and she's holding the frying pan. So I think a 10-inch Pascal would sell incredibly well. Flynn Rider's on my list as well, but I'm sick of asking for him, so this is one you guys need to settle for me down below in the comments. I want to see Pleakley from Lilo and Stitch. Danny says I'm crazy for asking for it for Emerald City Comic Con because she says that Pleakley is yellow. I say Pleakley is green. So make sure you guys help us settle that debate down below in the comments because I think she's crazy. She thinks that I'm crazy. And I want to know what side of history you guys are going to be on. I just can't believe that they're only doing Stitch and just a variant after variant of him when that universe is so rich with such creative character designs. So Pleakley is high on my want list this year for Danny's Lilo and Stitch collection and just for Disney collectors in general. I'm also going to predict we're going to be getting a new Alien remix, and it's been a while since we've gotten a new one. I want to say that maybe San Diego last year was the last time they released it. And maybe the hype has sailed in that kind of like era. I know Alien remix was hot on merchandise for maybe 6 or 8 months, and then it kind of stopped being produced. There was actually a comment on a previous video here on the channel that somebody called out, and I'll post it right here in front of my face because I can't remember exactly who posted it. who said that they want to get an Alien remix as Mike Wazowski, and I definitely agree with that comment because it just makes sense, you know? Mike Wazowski is a very popular character from Monsters, Inc. They do Sully on everything, but Mike doesn't really get represented as much as Sully, so I think it would be great to get a Mike to match. And then lastly, I want a Tarzan pop. I cannot believe that they have not done a set of Tarzan pops with all the different animals and then all the different characters. And I'm sorry guys, I'm not all too familiar with Tarzan. I can't remember any of the characters' names. I apologize, but I think that just giving us a standalone Tarzan would be really in Funko's wheelhouse. And in the past, Funko has been infamous for releasing just a standalone pop, and then 6, 8, 9 months later, whatever it is, they release a whole line based off of that one character because they want to judge if it's going to sell. They're not just going to release a whole line of like B and C tier characters if people don't want them. But if they release Tarzan and it sells incredibly well, they might be more likely to release Jane. Her name is Jane. And then the monkey's name, who's played by Rosie O'Donnell. Moving on to television, there are a bunch of shows that I think would get some great exclusives for Emerald City this year. First and foremost, The Office. I want to see Kevin, Meredith, or Todd Packer in their St. Patrick's Day outfits. Todd Packer doesn't have a pop yet, so he is my #1 contender. In that episode, he's always calling Michael from the bar, saying that he's missing out with his St. Patrick's tie on. I think that would just be a great departure from all of the Recyclops variants that we got last year to get a brand new character with brand new year, brand new character. And then underneath that, we have Meredith Palmer, because Meredith Palmer has this great line where she's like, just one day. Could we have one day, one special day where there's no responsibilities, no kids? And then the one that I want the least is Kevin in his green suit, because I feel like it would just be a lazy variant. But it does make sense for Emerald City because he is wearing a bright green suit. Probably the most notable out of the three, so if Funko was going to pick any of these three, Kevin is unfortunately the most likely. Opposite of The Office, we have Parks and Rec. There's leaks saying we're going to be getting a full set of Parks and Rec pops after years of not getting any, and I couldn't be any more excited. So all I want to see from Parks and Rec for Emerald City Comic Con is literally anything. I'll take Ben, Donna, Jerry, whoever. I'll take another Leslie variant. I really don't care what it is. So give me any Parks and Rec pop for Emerald City Comic Con and I will be very, very happy. And then from Always Sunny in Philadelphia, I want to see Green Man. I mean, this one just goes without saying. With Always Sunny having just being picked up by Funko and we just got them from their play outfits, it just makes so much sense to me for them to give us a Green Man variant for Emerald City Comic Con. And I mean, if they really want us to see that it's Charlie inside of the outfit, maybe they could have him like unzip the head or something and put the Charlie face on there just so we can tell who it is. That might make the fans a little happier. But if they want to stay true to the context material, they will give us a fully green Charlie in the green leotard. And that is probably my #1 want for Emerald City Comic Con this year. And I'm really, really hoping that they make it. And that is everything that I want to see from Emerald City Comic Con this year. It's kind of weird to me that the Comic Con got canceled and Funko just doesn't want to delay all the exclusives until December. But maybe they're just like, why break the cycle, you know? So that's probably what it is. And I want to hear from you guys down below in the comments. What did you think of my list? Is there something... Oh, I hit my funny ball. Is there something on my list that you guys also want to see as well? Make sure you leave me a comment down below letting me know what you think of my personal list, as well as what you want yourself that I may have not covered on mine. And don't forget guys, if you have not yet subscribed, please consider doing it. It helps the channel grow, helps me make more content for you guys watching at home. And as always guys, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to collect what you love, even when what you love is a bunch of wrestlers wearing spandex. And as always guys, I will see you soon.